Welcome to the 4 to 5. Eric Chilton here with Tanya Rivera and Sydney Moore. Lots ahead for you coming up in the next hour.
Yes, it was a hot one this morning.
A little warm, but we'll fix that another day.
That's good, because when you walk the dog at 6 something in the morning and you're still feeling like the humidity is just getting you, you know it's too hot.
Give us 24 hours, we'll fix all of that.
24 hours, and
That's
you can
right.
hold them to
True.
All right, we're going to talk about the weather in just a minute, but first, at 4 o'clock, somewhat of the same kind of story, but a different school district. HVAC issues at 2 Guilford County high schools tonight. Some families are scrambling after the problems forced the district to close 2 schools.
That's right. Right now, GCS says mold is not a part of the issue. WFMY News 2's Giselle Thomas is live outside Western Guilford High School, one of 2 schools impacted. Giselle.
Now, 2 schools with 2 separate issues and one common denominator, the HVAC system. Now, here at Western Guilford High School, the district says that there was a leak in the chiller that caused some problems for air conditioning throughout the entire building, to the point where some classrooms did not have working air. Now, over in High Point, Triangle Lake Montessori is dealing with AC issues. The district says no cooling in that building at all. The district says every school underwent testing throughout the summer, but problems can still pop up due to the age of systems.
You know, I would say it will likely continue to happen, that you're going to have HVAC issues with older facilities. And we're going to continue on with the same strategy and plan that we've had before to report and address and take care of those issues.
The district says workers are at both buildings fixing the issues, but it is unclear when Triangle Lake students and staff will return. The district initially said that they will return tomorrow. Now, here at Western, students will learn remotely through Thursday. Now, it's important to note that the district says that there is no indication of mold at this time. Live in Guilford County, Giselle Thomas, WFMY News 2.
Giselle, thank you. Last week, GCS provided some clarity on its HVAC units following multiple reports of classrooms not having AC. The district says the Building Services Department completed nearly 2,000 work orders over the summer to address needs ahead of the new school year. They say when an HVAC unit breaks, the district can decide to bring in temporary equipment, including fans and portable air conditioning units, until the problem is fixed.
Well, of course, we learned about the issues in Guilford County last night, just as Alamance Burlington schools fixed their HVAC issues. Yesterday, students returned for the first day of school after a 2-week delay. The district made the decision to postpone school after mold was discovered in some buildings. Officials say a total of 30 schools were impacted. All of them now have been cleaned and cleared for classes.
Okay, so we have today and tomorrow with some warm weather, and then things are going to change. We just need to get through the day tomorrow, and we will see huge differences in not only overnight lows, but daytime highs as well. Here's what we see across the area. Winston-Salem at 88. High Point, you have the same reading. Greensboro, at least at the airport, where our records are kept, we're at 86, and Burlington has 86 as well. But some of that cooler air already moving into our mountain communities. Mount Airy right now at 73. Really comfortable there. As we head into the night, go to the 70s by as early as 7 p.m. Can't rule out an isolated shower or an isolated storm. That's still in our forecast. Same thing tomorrow too, but rain chances down to about a 30% for Wednesday, and then we take them out for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's a beautiful stretch all the way through our weekend, and we do expect some 60s for overnight lows tonight. Yeah, we've got some rain out there. No mention of thunderstorms. In fact, let's turn on our thunderstorm tracker here to see if we see anything. Some lightning strikes anywhere from Martinsville all the way down to Boone, but a lot of that moving through Surrey County, Yadkin County, and Wilkes County right now. It is headed to the south and to the east, generally speaking, so we'll watch some of these storm systems as they push by. Expect that in the next few hours, any of us could see an isolated shower or storm. That's the actual frontal boundary way back on the left side of the screen there, so that won't get through until probably tomorrow. Here's what it looks like. We're kind of in the muggy warm section as we head. This is Wednesday morning. Now we go into Wednesday afternoon, and by Wednesday night and into Thursday, yeah, that high pressure moves in, and thank goodness for that cold front. It steers Hurricane Lee away from the United States for now. 82 degrees for your high tomorrow, mid 70s, all sunshine. It's beautiful. Overnight lows in the 50s for Thursday, Friday. How about Saturday morning at 53, and we'll hold in the upper 70s for your weekend.
A new bill proposing changes to North Carolina's alcohol laws is gaining momentum in Raleigh. Our sister station in Charlotte talked to a couple of bars and officials about the changes that are on the table.
In a unanimous vote Tuesday in the ABC House Committee, Senate Bill 527 gets the green light.
Well, certainly it will help.
A potential change to alcohol laws in the Tar Heel state.
When they ask for something and I go, oh no, I can't do that, that's illegal. And they go, gives you this look of, really?
Michael Sharpton, owner of the Scorpio in Charlotte, is talking about happy hours, currently illegal in the state.
Where currently we have to offer that same special from open to close.
If it passes, happy hours would be allowed. It's something he says would bring him more business.
North Carolina presents itself as a very business-friendly state, and this bill will certainly move us towards being a much more friendlier state as far as tourism.
The bill would also allow ABC stores to sell on Sundays. Jason Ruth with the North Carolina Bar Owners Association says bar owners won't be the only ones to benefit.
As more sales come into the state on both of those issues, that's going to increase revenue for the state and the taxpayers too.
But while positives pour in, some are skeptical. There's been pushback by groups like the Christian Action League of North Carolina, who say it will just add to over drinking and more DUI crashes, a reason why happy hours were eliminated in the 1980s.
All of my bartenders are trained to spot someone who has consumed too much alcohol.
But Sharpton says bar owners will still need to be responsible.
How's your day going?
So for Sharpton, the shakeup comes with benefits. We will have to wait and see if the Senate bill continues to move forward.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. Winston-Salem man could face life in prison without parole if convicted of sexually assaulting a store employee. Byron Martin is accused of attacking an elderly woman in a store on Renolda Road. Martin faces charges of forcible rape and kidnapping. He was appointed a public defender. Martin is due back in court at the end of the month.
In about 2 hours or so, Rockingham County leaders are hosting a discussion about the fentanyl crisis. It's all part of what they call the fentanyl fight. That event is at 6 o'clock tonight. They're inviting everyone to attend the discussion at Rockingham Community College's Advanced Technologies Auditorium. They plan to address the dangers of the drug and its local impact. They're also going to discuss resources available to the public. Also tonight at 6, 3 of the 5 North Carolina Republican candidates for governor are preparing to debate in Cary. Current State Treasurer Dale Falwell, former Congressman Mark Walker, and former Health Plan CEO Jesse Thomas are participating. Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson and former State Senator Andy Wells are also in the race, but they have decided to skip the debate. We are going to have live coverage of the event on WFMY News 2 at 6. In the meantime, on the Democratic side, former NC Supreme Court Justice Mike Morgan just announced his candidacy for governor. He now joins the field, which includes current State Attorney General Josh Stein.
Investigators need the public's help in finding a vehicle that was involved in a deadly hit and run. They're looking for a white Ford F-150 truck around the year 1997 and 2003. They say the truck may have damage on the front or right corner and a missing mirror on the passenger side. State Highway Patrol says it happened last Friday morning around 7:45 on US 70 near NC 61. 40-year-old Andrew Jenkins was walking east before he was hit by a truck. Highway Patrol says Jenkins died on the scene.
A somber moment for the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. The department had a massive funeral procession for fallen Deputy Austin Ruldehuber. The deputy died over the weekend after officials say he was hit by a box truck while driving in Davidson County. The procession was led by hundreds of law enforcement and emergency service vehicles to a funeral home. The Sheriff's Office says they will release the details of the funeral arrangements when they've been confirmed. He was 32 years old.
Wait, have I? Or that little tiny, like, cubs or whatever they call them? Yeah. It is really cute. You know, it takes a special person to be a zookeeper, especially if you're dealing with certain critters. Well, I went to the Greensboro Science Center to be a part of their Echo Explorer program, which allows you to be somewhat of a zookeeper for a day. But on this day, it was something special. Take a look. All right, you can sit that down. All right, there it is. My love-hate relationship. I am absolutely fascinated with spiders, but I'm also scared to death. Kelsey's here to talk about. This is part of the Eco Explorer program, right? What is that?
So Eco Explorer is a citizen science program that we partner with. So it's to get kids that are K through 8 out in nature, engaging with whatever they can find, from birds to plants to mammals. And this year we're actually starting a new badge called the Arachnology badge. So we're going to talk all about spiders all through September and October. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of new information for us as well, learning about all of those native spiders.
This not native, right?
This one is not native, a Mexican red-knee tarantula. Her name is Rosa. So she just lives here at the Science Center, living her best life.
What you told me, right? Well, she has the perfect life. She doesn't have to do. Tell me about how they defend themselves, because this is neat.
It's one of my favorite things to talk about with this particular species and other species as well. But they do have all of those little hairs, particularly back on their abdomen there, and that is a defense mechanism that they can kick off those hairs, and they're very, very itchy. And that's actually what itching powder was originally made out of. So whenever something's trying to attack them, they can kick those off. It creates an irritation, and I wouldn't want to be tangled with anything that's causing me to be itchy, so I would also let it go.
So they get airborne and then just attach to your skin.
Just attaches to
All right, so when I saw this, I thought you had one live, and I'm like,
no. So I've got a couple molts here. So spiders have an exoskeleton, so when they grow, they can't just grow. It doesn't grow with them like it does for us. So they actually have to molt that exoskeleton. So here I have one of Rosa's.
Oh my gosh.
So you can see here the 8 legs. So all spiders have 8 legs. They have 2 body segments. So this top one here, and then what's left of the abdomen there. And when they actually molt off, they do it upside down.
That looks so real.
And even the fangs molt off.
So they would pop the center part of their body comes out, and then they just pull their legs out.
They do it from the back out.
And this is something that you would learn about in the Eco Explorer.
Yes,
This is one badge that I want you to give me the badge just because I got that close to that thing. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
I think my skin is growing. Do you see my hair standing up?
It is.
It's happening.
I do have a love-hate thing with them. Oh, I do see it.
You see? Yeah.
I do, because I'm fascinated. I watch everything I can about spiders. I think they're cool, but I cannot stand them at the same time. Yeah. But the way they molt, like I was saying this during the story, they flip over on their backs, and then somehow they get out of that and leave it all intact. It's just
so
crazy.
Weird. When we went to Costa Rica, we actually took a tour at night of the jungle.
Oh no.
Of the state park, and saw a tarantula in its live element and walked right next to it. And it really doesn't want to like jump on you or anything like that, but it is a big spider. It is a
like
big
your hand?
spider.
Is it that big?
At least the size of your hand, yes.
Have you ever seen those trapdoor spiders? They dig a hole in the ground. This is in desert climates, I think. They dig a hole. I know far too much about spiders. They dig a hole and then they do a web with dirt in it so it looks like the ground.
Oh, so that something crawls into it.
Well, when it comes by, it's lurking, and then it pops up, grabs it, takes it down, and the door shuts. I mean, it's insane.
Well, I mean, we all got to eat.
I'm really trying to fix my face. I don't want to look. I'm like, Cindy, you're on TV. Smile, do something, but I truly cannot.
That's okay.
So you need to do this Eco Explorer program with this.
No, she does not. She does
But
not.
I just want a video.
You don't have to do all the things, people. You just don't.
You see, he just wants a video.
I want a video. That's what, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
We are on top of breaking news on WFMY News 2. Guilford County Schools is confirming to us that Northeast Middle and Northeast High School are delaying dismissal because both of them are on lockdown. Okay, so right now it is unclear what has happened, what the situation is, but we do have calls in, of course, to Guilford County Sheriff's Office. We are, of course, talking with Guilford County Schools. We have crews on the scene, so we are learning more bit by bit, and we will continue to keep you posted on air and online.
Well, happening right now, it's a sight you normally don't get to see. A volcano is erupting on Hawaii's Big Island. This is what it looked like early this morning. You can see the lava bursting out of the volcano and flowing out of the crater. This is the volcano's third eruption of the year, located in a closed area of Hawaii's Volcanoes National Park. Spectators are making their way there now to watch the eruption. And Eric, all I'm thinking about are, of course, the folks there sifting through this. They obviously have to be, extremely careful.
Well, and they're called volcanologists, the people that study volcanoes. And I don't know, I would not want to be there because he's in that crater, right? You can see the edge of it all the way up. And if that volcano were to decide to erupt, all of that is gone. Those guys are brave and daring just for their science.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before, but goodness, look at that. It breaks my heart.
And if you live on an island, there's nowhere to go.
Right, exactly.
But Hawaii was built the islands are because of underground volcanoes. So
Wow.
it's kind of a mixed bag, right? If it wasn't for the volcanoes, they wouldn't be there. But you got to be careful with that kind of stuff.
Right here in the Triad, I know we've been tracking a few storms. Where are we at with that?
So we have some right now moving across the area. We'll get you to that. Let's get to the radar first, because from Surrey and Stokes County all the way down to Wilkes County, that's where most of the action is now. Doesn't mean the rest of us won't see it, because we will. It is moving east. So really, as you head, let's go in just a little bit tighter here. If you look from King, right there on Highway 52 north, we're seeing a lot of that heavier thunderstorm activity. Walnut Cove probably getting some rain too, if I'm correct about that. Elkin in southwestern Surrey County, and then down to North Wilkesboro. That's a line that's moving through. Now we're looking right now, scanning for any warnings out there. We do not have severe thunderstorm warnings at the present time. Doesn't mean we can't have them, and we'll be watching this. Now, out to a wider shot, because the front is way back to the west. This is just, we're fairly unstable, muggy, lots of moisture in the atmosphere to the east of the front. So as long as we stay in that muggy sector, we can't rule out those thunderstorms. Now, as this moves through, and that's Wednesday afternoon and evening, we finally get some drier air. But look at Lee coming up from the north. Thank goodness our timing worked out the way it did with this cold front coming off the coast and some upper level winds steering. It'll take Lee back out to the east and away from land. Here's what the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center shows. Downgrading by Saturday to a Category 1. It does look like this would move in toward Halifax, Nova Scotia, not over the United States. But of course, we'll keep you posted if anything were to change. All the models in really good agreement that that will be the track. Usually we have some models that disagree, not this time. 82 tomorrow with a slight late day shower chance. Then that fall air arrives. 50s and 70s, sunny Thursday, Friday, Saturday, upper 70s Sunday, and back to the low 80s for the beginning of next week.
For the last 3 years, you've likely seen and heard the stories about Triad animal shelters being at capacity. In the past, sometimes pet owners just simply dropped off their cats and their dogs because they could no longer afford to care for the animal. Some shelters have launched new creative ways to find pets a new home, but in Colorado, one animal shelter is taking it one step farther.
You never forget the day you bring a new family member home, and you never forget leaving one behind. There are many reasons to surrender a pet, the most selfless being you can't provide the life they deserve.
It's either behavioral or financial.
Josie Pigeons has a master's in social work, and she works at a shelter.
A family who's having issues with finding food or financial assistance or is just having issues keeping their home, their pets are going to go through the exact same thing.
Denver Animal Shelter is helping pets stay home by addressing the human issues behind surrender. They offer low-cost care while connecting owners to resources like food and housing support.
Since they're more likely to come get help for their pets, we're going to go ahead and give them help while they're here.
The shelter has a team on the ground targeting underserved areas and vulnerable populations more likely to relinquish.
Oftentimes they can't afford the deposit or the pet rent or all the things that come along with that.
Marissa Vasquez is the manager of community engagement.
We hope to do a lot more work in the area of prevention so that people don't even have to, come to our doors.
As kennels continue to fill, shelters insist that we adopt. Another solution, keeping pets like this where they belong, at home.
Where the wonderful part is going to come is just making sure that we're keeping families together.
And unfortunately, this continues to be an ongoing issue there at animal shelters. Even here locally, I know we all know we've done multiple stories with animal shelters and their capacity and finding those furry animals a home. Recently, I found out that Guilford County Animal Shelter, they told me something that I didn't even know was happening, is that they would sometimes switch animals with like local departments. So like Burlington, for example, and then Guilford. So say I have 2 cats, you have a dog, let's switch, and that might help create room in maybe their animal shelter or the other animal shelter, but that's how far they have to go to help
do that.
Exactly.
Or you get a new set of eyes on it too if you
Sure,
switch animals.
That's another
looking
reason
for
as well.
different, animals. And I think of your dog, just running around the street. It could have been.
Yep, somebody found him and didn't know what to do, emailed a bunch of friends, and then they emailed friends, and it ended up in our neighborhood Facebook page, and then we ended up getting him, and he's man, is he the most loving dog. He's big for me. I grew up with little dogs. So for me, he's kind of big. I don't know what he weighs. What does Kona weigh? Because it's about the same.
Kona weighs 75 pounds.
Okay, he's about, Lucky's about 68.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah,
so that big.
Blew
Okay.
up.
Okay.
And then he wants to lay on you like he's a chihuahua. So
of course they do.
there's that. But adorable. Yeah, do the right thing and help take care. Don't ever visit a shelter if you just want to go see dogs, because you will leave.
You will come home with an
dog
animal
or cat
for sure.
Really. And there's volunteer options as well too.
That's right.
So if you aren't able to, at least
can do
go
lots
and
of other things.
Exactly, help feed them, pet them, walk them. They have a
Bring
lot of
them
different
your old
resources and
towels.
opportunities.
Yes, they need
All
that.
that kind of stuff. I mean, they need all kinds of things.
All right, we're going to take a break and we're coming right back. Stay there.
We are on top of breaking news on WFMY News 2. Guilford County Schools is confirming that Northeast Middle and Northeast High School are delaying dismissal because of lockdowns at both of those schools in McLeansville.
Yeah, it's unclear what happened. We have calls into the Guilford County Sheriff's Office, but have not heard back at this time. We, again, do have crews on scene working to learn more, and of course, we'll be sure to keep you posted.
And we have to keep you posted on thunderstorms moving through the area and some rain showers. Look at our temperature map and you can probably guess where the rain is. See the cooler air with the greens and yellows back north and west. Galax, Jefferson at 67, Mount Airy 69, and meanwhile you jump up to 88 in Winston-Salem. Only about 30 minutes basically between Winston-Salem and Mount Airy. So rain-cooled air for the mountains and foothills. If we go into a tighter shot here, you can see Danbury getting a few showers. Also right around Pilot Mountain and Meadows of Dan, if you know that area, and King seeing some rain. Heavier in North Wilkesboro and then also east of Boomer approaching Love Valley to the south there in Iredell County. So overall, we will see lightning with these storms moving through. They could be isolated, probably not lasting very long if you do end up getting that. This is a live look as our radar scans to see if there are any warnings out there, and nothing just yet. Just looks like a standard kind of almost summertime, late summer thunderstorm here. The front itself, way back to the west. We're talking Middle Tennessee to Western Tennessee. That will all push through by tomorrow, but until then, expect more in the way of maybe an isolated shower or storm for your Wednesday. That's a 30% chance and a high of 82, but look behind that fall air, folks. Mid 70s for highs, low to mid 50s for overnight lows. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The weekend, we're up to 78. The coolest day is Friday at 75. And next week, we're back to the low 80s for Monday and Tuesday.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is endorsing a formal House committee impeachment inquiry into President Biden. The move comes as the Republican leader faces mounting pressure from his party to take action. It involves the Biden family business dealings. Republicans are hoping that a formal inquiry will give them more investigative tools to dig for wrongdoing on the part of the president. A White House spokesperson called McCarthy's move extreme politics at its worst.
COVID is creating problems for NC Works in High Point. The Career Center has paused all walk-in services due to COVID precautions. This only affects the Career Center on Idle Street. NC Works hopes to resume walk-in services by Friday. Now it comes as the CDC is expected to approve the new fall COVID booster shots. The vaccines received the green light from the FDA just last night. The vaccines from Moderna and Pfizer could be available at pharmacies by the end of the week once approved. The shots are designed to target new subvariants. Doctors recommend getting the booster anytime between now and mid-October to stay ahead of the fall virus season.
All right, let's talk virtual reality. First made a buzz in the late 80s and early 90s, and it's come a long way since then, including in the ways that it's being used.
That's right. One mental health provider is now using it to treat fears, phobias, and anxiety.
All right, here goes. Ellie Mental Health in Mendota Heights is using virtual reality to bring the outside world,
I'm up very high.
into its office. This isn't a video game.
I have open area in front of me, and I have railings on the side of me.
It's therapy.
And what are you noticing internally? For working with someone who has a fear of flying, we can't really get on a plane with them, right? But what we can do with VR is we can bring a plane into that therapy room.
I asked Austin Jacobson, Ellie's virtual reality therapy co-manager, to demonstrate the software he uses.
I feel a little shaky.
To transport to a situation that creates anxiety for me. Heights.
Your front brain and your hind brain, they're not communicating. So all that's happening is your hind brain is going, we're up high, we're up high, we're up high. So you're having that immediate fear response.
Through virtual reality exposure therapy, I safely face my fear while receiving tools to calm and cope.
Take note where you are right now and then do some square breathing. The idea with this stuff is we're trying to regain some sort of control over what's called your autonomic nervous system. That's your fight or flight response.
This form of therapy already has a success rate of between 66 and 90% in treating PTSD. Ellie also incorporates VR in everyday therapy sessions to put clients at ease.
If they find being on a beach comforting, yeah, let's put them on a beach. Or maybe even put them in a more creative space so then they can express themselves, non-verbally.
Back on the crane ledge.
But I could try to take a few steps out here.
You can absolutely take a few steps.
After taking a few steps high above the city, This session is coming to an end.
Feel free to take off the headset right there. I'm not going to make you walk back on the crane.
It's also weird, the spatial relationship of how far I actually walked.
You walked a good amount. You can take that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not embarrassed to say it definitely got sweaty.
While my demonstration session was more rapid, Jacobson says it typically takes 6 to 12 sessions to experience results. He says it's a tool, not a cure-all.
None of them are magic wands. They're all different ways to work on the same sort of thing, and these different modalities resonate with different people.
I would absolutely do that to try and help myself get over my fear of heights.
So that, because when you were watching that, you were actually.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah. I've always thought virtual reality is so cool. I remember walking into a mall one day in Atlanta and they had the virtual reality experience. You could just try it out. And it just felt like you were in a different world for a little bit.
Well, especially when, so my kids have the Oculus thing.
Okay.
And so when you put that on and you got the earbuds in, you're totally immersed. So even the sounds, you can, I think there are chat rooms that my kids do with each other. And you can hear the person over here and you have to turn to see them and talk to them. And they have
if
avatars.
It was real, the way that it sounds.
And then you take it off and then you're like, whoa,
what just happened?
What's going on?
I'm on this side of the room and not that side. Yeah.
All right, we do want to give you an update right now because we have an update on breaking news here in Guilford County. The Guilford County Sheriff's Office is confirming that all students and staff at Northeast Guilford Middle and Northeast Guilford High are safe. They're not sharing any details about what prompted the lockdown, but they are dismissing the students. Sheriff Danny Rogers is expected to talk soon to provide an update. The lockdown, of course, prompted delayed dismissals. Again, we have crews on the scene. We're working to learn more, but the students and staff are safe and they are being dismissed.
Yo, mic check. Brad, it's Jalen. Jalen and Brad doing the news with a little help from Aaron. Just a little bit.
All right, you know what's happening. Jalen Gilkey is here, and you know what that means.
What does that mean? Sports.
There we go.
Jalen's like, don't play around.
I was going to say, it's time to talk cooking. No, that's not it.
We can do that.
He does some
We
that.
could do that. That is true. Or shoes.
There you know me
The
so
man
well.
has
His
a lot
shoe
of
game
things
is
he can
strong.
talk about,
Yep.
which is true. Okay, but this is what we're going to talk about. Let's get to the top headline of the day that deals with sports. Probably the biggest story of the day. What is the future of quarterback? What is the future for quarterback Aaron Rodgers? In his first game with the New York Jets, of course, he tore his Achilles tendon. It happened on the 4th play of the game. Yeah, he ran out like that, and then that's not what happened.
That was his highlight.
The injury now ends the quarterback season and the return to football next year. It is unclear. Let's see what the Jets head coach had to say after the game.
I heard for Aaron and how much he's invested in all of this. So I'm still going to say a prayer. I'm still going to hold out hope. But my heart's with Aaron right now, and nowhere else.
Okay,
So last night, last night when all of this happened, I mean, Jalen, one of our anchors, our producers, you could feel just the sadness of this story.
Yeah, it just kind of overtook the whole newsroom.
Yeah, it did.
We do have a couple Green Bay Packer fans in the newsroom, and they were ecstatic to see Aaron possibly lose, but it kind of
not that way.
Yeah, not that way.
Right.
And then for the Jets to go on to win, I think that's a whole nother story, right? Robert Saleh, he spoke today and made it clear. They were asked about some of the other veteran quarterbacks that are still out there, free agent wise, whether that be Matt Ryan,
That's about
whether
it.
that be Cam Newton, whether that be Carson Wentz, some of those names along those lines. And he went out and said that this is Zach Wilson's team. They believe in Zach Wilson, and the big name that was looming.
Tom Brady. I was about to say he's going to come back
but
out.
But he's got a
of the
conflict
tournament,
of interest now because he's a partial minority owner with the Raiders.
Oh,
so there's some legalities to that as well. So it was just crazy to see.
Wentz and Ryan, to me, are about all you got. If you're trying
that's really all you got. And so they're looking at Joe Flacco too, who was with the team last year. So he's kind of familiar. They got a new offensive coordinator. It's a mess.
I really think they need to work with Wilson. He was the number 2 pick, wasn't he, back in the day?
Yeah, just because you're number 2 don't mean you're the right guy.
That's true.
All right, we're going to stick with the whole talk about Jets and Bills because we're going to talk about this right here. There is a bar in Wisconsin that vowed to pay everyone's tab if New York lost.
Yeah, they did.
We just told you that the Jets did lose Aaron Rodgers, but they won the game, and that spoiled the night for everyone.
The staff at Jack's American Pub knew offering to pay everyone's tab would lead to a surge of Wisconsinites.
We have all hands on deck. We did pre-shift meetings. We talked this, trying to look at it from every angle and get out ahead of it.
Jack's even has a playbook for the Jets lose, you win promotion. Tabs open 15 minutes before kickoff. The offer does not apply to pitchers, food, or top shelf liquor.
We've been in the bar industry a long time. We were able to put together just a couple limitations, but still, keep it as open as possible.
For some fans, their strategy too.
I think if the Bills are winning early, we'll just stay steady. But if the Jets have a big lead, I'll probably tone it down.
For others,
I came here aggressive. I'm going to start drinking heavy. I don't care what the score is.
Win or lose, they're here to booze.
All game we're going to drink. No matter who's winning, we're just going to keep going.
Another condition is Aaron Rodgers must start the game, but the rules say nothing about him having to finish it. So there's a loud roar when Rodgers leaves the game hurt in the first quarter. The fans say it's nothing personal.
I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to Rodgers, but tonight I'm thinking with my wallet instead.
Still, some say they'll be flying high regardless of the outcome because after Sunday's game, they're in love.
I think we can work around that, especially after Jordan Love's performance yesterday. I'm not too down in the dumps after that, so.
Yeah, but then everybody had to pay their tab. Friends, everyone.
What a disaster.
But you said they're doing this.
So they're not just doing this week 1. This is a promotion that they're actually offering 10 weeks throughout the season. So if the Jets lose, and I don't know if the stipulations change now that Aaron Rodgers will no longer be the quarterback, but I think it's working in the bar goer's favor now.
For sure.
The swing of emotion and everything, and just Zach Wilson stepping in, I don't know. Things might have to change.
Well, at first I thought, how's that bar going to pay for that if they keep doing this over and over? But then I had read that they consider it a marketing expense.
Sure.
So they just write it off.
Well, and they also thought that maybe the Jets with Aaron Rodgers would lose 2, right?
3, 4, maybe 5 games. It's the NFL still. Tough division.
But without Rodgers. I mean, although they won last night, so
They did.
like,
and what an ending to that game. Unbelievable.
That was unbelievable.
Oh, and since we're talking about football, don't forget to cast your vote for our Friday Football Fever Game of the Week. You can find the poll on our website by clicking the Game of the Week story on our homepage. There it is right there on your screen. There are 5 games for you to choose from, and you can vote as many times as you like. We'll announce the winner tomorrow on WFMY News 2 at 5 p.m. And switching sports, Reagan's high school volleyball team is on a roll to start the season. The Raiders are off to a perfect 16-0 start to the season.
16.
And they've won 41 out of 41 sets that they played, haven't dropped one as of yet.
Wow.
And the Raiders have had some success while replacing over 3/4 of their roster from last year. We caught up with head coach Doug Balser, along with players Jordan Smart and Gabrielle Nichols, to get their take on how and why they've been so successful to this point.
We've just got a fantastic group of young ladies, and they've just been working really hard, and that's been the most important piece. We graduated a couple all-state players, we graduated 11 seniors, and so we really weren't sure what we have. Our returning players really stepped up, and then we were blessed with some new players coming in. And Jordan and Haley and Sarah, some of our seniors, have just done such a great job of welcoming everybody and making it kind of a family.
It's just such an honor to be considered one of the captains of this team. There have been some great captains before me, and I've looked up to them, and I'm just super happy that I'm able to, be considered and consider myself a leader of this team.
Because they knew I was new, coming from New York, they put in the extra time to make me feel welcome. I immediately felt part of the team. Second day being in North Carolina, I was playing with the team, and it just felt like we're a family in a sense in such a short period of time. It's a real relationship that we cherish, and we really put in the work because we want to be successful on the court.
The thing in everyone's mind is states, but we definitely need to take it one at a time. And conference is big, but one game at a time, and just really working forward to getting better each game, no matter who's on the other side. I think we just need to focus on ourselves and keep the level of play high.
You can't get a kill without getting a pass, and you can't set the ball without getting a pass. It starts with a pass, get a set, get a kill. Team effort is what's going to win this game. You can't win this game with one player. It takes a team.
We are continuing to follow some breaking news this afternoon out of McLeansville around Northeast Middle and High School. We have just received a news release from the Guilford County Sheriff's Office saying that Northeast Middle and Northeast High delayed dismissals while law enforcement completed an investigation into the area. Out of an abundance of caution, both schools were placed on lockdown. All students and staff are safe. Buses will be delayed slightly as we complete the last of our safety precautions. We want to thank everyone involved, and we also want to thank our parents for their patience as we followed the proper safety procedures. We do have some of our team out there on campus right now. We've also heard that the Guilford County Sheriff is also on the scene and will be giving us an update shortly. Stay tuned.
In case you missed it, U.S. women's tennis player Coco Gauff is on cloud nine. I mean, literally. Over the weekend, the 19-year-old athlete won the U.S. Open in New York, becoming the youngest woman to do it since Serena Williams in 1999. And if you follow Coco on social media, she's been soaking the moment in. She received a WWE championship belt to go with her trophy. She was a special guest at the Sunday night football game between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. And she even got a shout out from the one and only Marvel Studios with her own comic book cover with Iron Man. And get this, Coco's received $3 million for winning the U.S. Open.
Sure.
The 19-year-old, right, asked if she would use the money to pay student loans or bills, and she just laughed and replied, "I never went to college, so I don't have loans, and I still live with my parents, so no bills."
No bills, yeah.
Dinner's on me tonight,
I
parents.
know, but I think that's been
crazy.
the most fun part, is just watching her on social media. I mean, right after she won, she kind of went on like TikTok and different social media platforms.
With her name was everywhere.
And you're watching her at home
Yes.
at the U.S. Open, just like, you know, it's just cool how so far technology has come.
She's a teenager.
Right?
After she won, she took her phone, and then when they were interviewing her, she goes, "I just tried to FaceTime my brother." And
Yeah.
She said he didn't pick up. And then he tried to FaceTime her after that, and she was getting the trophy, so she
Right.
couldn't.
I love the family bond that she has. I
Yeah.
know they're so
Very
proud of
strong,
her. So.
very strong.
She
All
was
right.
great to watch.
Let's talk, so much fun. Let's talk about the forecast and what we're going to see for the next little bit. Hey, we've got some thunderstorm activity that we will be watching as we head into the evening and the night. So far, no warnings in our area. There's some back in Tennessee, but for us, from Wilkesboro up through Stokes County, for the most part, we're seeing that rain. It's a little bit heavy in eastern Stokes County over toward Meadows of Dan, and that means Madison, you're probably next in line. Wilkesboro saw the rain a little bit earlier, now more moving through, and that's headed over toward Forbush, too, along Highway 601 in Yadkin County. Be careful of that. Chance of those scattered showers or thunderstorms tonight, again tomorrow, a 30% with a high of 82. But look at that fall air, folks. Sunshine, mid-70s Thursday, Friday, upper 70s for your weekend, and no rain from Thursday through Saturday.
At 7 o'clock Sunday morning in Toronto.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are here just ahead of that fentanyl fight.
Yes. Here at Western Guilford, there was a leak in the HVAC system.
That's not? No. She just tried to call me. There she is. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Who is that?
Hey there, tracking some scattered storms across the area right now. Some lightning.
Hi, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey,
How many licks does it take to get to the middle of a Tootsie Pop? A 1, a 2, a 3, 3.
Hey, it's time for my 2 cents. Today we're talking about lost treasures, and I mean treasures within a family. So you need to know the family dynamic here. A little background. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. The next oldest to me was 13 years older. My oldest sister was nearly 18 when I was born. So there's a big age gap here, right? They were like a separate generation. So for me, I hear stories about things that happened before I was born, and I've never gotten to experience that or even see. We didn't have a home video camera or film camera back in the day. But guess what? A distant relative did. And we found these recently. Somebody had posted these. My cousin sent them to me. Take a look. I love looking back at this and seeing my sisters, Teresa, Bobby, and Kathy, my brother, Gary. But what really got me, now I got to see them as little kids. They were teenagers by the time I remember anything. But when I got to see my mother and father back then, I mean, this would have been late 1950s, early 1960s, before I was even thought of. That was amazing to see a younger version of my parents that I never got to experience. It, for me, so sentimental. All of my siblings were sharing these old films with each other now and going through them and trying to find these snapshots from our family embedded in my aunt's family, basically is where this came from. So I would tell you this, if you have the opportunity one day to delve into a treasure trove of old films or videos, and ask cousins and great uncles and aunts, ask everybody you can, because these images are invaluable and give us a snapshot to a time that we miss, or in my case, missed altogether. That's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5 WFMY.
We are on top of breaking news in Guilford County today, where the Guilford County School District says a lockdown at Northeast Middle and High School delayed dismissal this afternoon. The Sheriff's Office says all students and staff are safe.
WFMY News 2's Amber Lake is live there now. All right, Amber, what can you tell us?
Guys, whenever we got to this area about 30 minutes ago, the entire road